All right, guys, we're back on championship court for this final mixed doubles open division. This is going to be a absolutely fun match to watch and commentate. You've got Sarah Burr and Martin Clark, who just came off what you would consider, I think you said, a bloodbath. And no lie, that was one of the quickest semifinals that I've been a part of in any international tournament so far. And I expect that momentum to carry over. Do you expect a little bit more resistance from Macy and Aditya?
I definitely think Macy is a little bit more accomplished than maybe Ken, who was on the court previously. She can definitely keep a few balls lower. Aditya is definitely the playmaker out here. He is very flashy. He has a lot of firepower, a massive forehand. Will it be enough? I don't think so, but he could produce something special. He's done it before. We shouldn't expect that he can't. But I know how polished Martin and Sarah are. They are so disciplined. They are athletes at the end of the day. Everything they do before matches, on the court, after matches, they mean business. Sarah wants to go to the States, or is going to the States. She's going to play on the PPA, APP tour. She is really disciplined, as I said, and she wants to make it. And yeah.
Yeah, and don't let the old guy fool you with the knee brace. That man can absolutely flat out play some pickleball. He's an immense competitor. So there's a couple things at stake here. The Triple Crown is one storyline we're going to keep an eye on. The other thing is the revenge factor from the Asia Pickleball Open, where Aditya basically took this game by storm, was driving relentlessly at Martin and Sarah, and they were found on their heels, not able to unlock the keys to success. You touched on it in the commentary of the game before in the semifinals, that they have worked diligently over the last 6 months to improve that part of their game and make sure that they were not going to be the ones getting dictated on, but they were going to be doing the dictating moving forward. So I think they showed that in the semifinals. But this is a different matchup, and every matchup is different. So I'm very curious to see how the Australians adapt their game to Aditya being so active and so aggressive. He hits a really nice, clean forehand drive and then moves his way in and works his way in. And, of course, his counterpart, Macy Gyo, is, like you said, accomplished in her own right and by all means can hang in the pocket with these three other players.
How effective will the spin serve be out here again? I don't think it's going to affect Aditya as much. Maybe
Possibly Macy.
I definitely think it could affect Macy a little bit, and that could be the difference. That 1 or 2 points off a missed return or a short return here or there could prove to be the difference.
Do you think, let me back up, do you know if Sarah goes left and right? Does she go different directions to mix up?
She 100% does, but I'm not going to tell you
no need
the
to, but she does.
She
but
does.
She does.
It can go left or right.
Okay.
And Martin's is just as filthy.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize that. You know, Martin has a very strong serve. It's very powerful. It's very deep. I didn't realize he does the spin like that, though.
Yes, he does.
She's been very effective over this tournament, winning lots and lots of points. Obviously, it's built her confidence in that serve as she's come along in the tournament this week.
What I loved out here is the whole Indian team and also Macy and Aditya are watching Sarah and Martin warm up here, and they put on an absolute clinic with reflex volleys. There are at least 50 reflex volleys back and forth. That must plant a seed in their mind as well, going, holy, this is intimidating.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look at the road to the championship for Aditya and Macy. In the round of 16, they beat Wiljani and Rafi 15-6. The next round in the quarterfinals, they took down Kristen and Michelle 15-6. And then they took down Snehal Patil and Aniket Durgawali 15-4.
That's a really good win against that team.
Absolutely, that's a big win. And let's take a look at the road to the championship for Martin Clark and Sarah Burr. As in the round of 16, they took down Nerol and Varys 15-5. In the quarterfinals, they beat Young Sin Sang and Shu Yi Shin 15-11, so that was a little bit closer.
That was a really good battle. I was there for that match, and those two are they put on a performance as well, and they were very skillful with their spins, with their drops, with their speed ups. They were a quality team, but that's what you need as well. Sarah and Martin don't want to come into this final putting on absolute clinics. They need to be challenged. If you're not challenged and you suddenly get to a final and it starts to be close, you could be left, and left behind, really. So to have that challenge in the quarterfinal, I think, is an absolute blessing for them.
Yeah, definitely. And then in that last round, as you guys all saw, and we've talked about, a 15-1 beatdown of Jeffrey Waranda and Kin Shafa, the team from Indonesia. Both great players in their own right, but just not able to handle the pace of Martin Clark and Sarah Burr. And now we find ourselves in the finals. Aditya Ruhela and Macy Guo square off promptly against Martin Clark and Sarah Burr. Stay tuned. We're going to take just a little break while they continue to warm up, and we'll be back for the professional commentary from Brendan Lee and Scott Golden in just a minute. All right, guys, we're about to kick this thing off. Martin Clark and Sarah Burr to start. Let's see if the spin serve early is a factor or not, as Macy's going to see the first spin serve from Sarah Burr in just a minute. We do have line judges also, by the way.
Okay. Very early on, Aditya very fast. Looking sharp already.
Yeah, he's very sharp, setting the tone. Actually, Martin almost got that last one back. I was a little shocked to even put a paddle on it.
They do get balls back that not many people can. Okay, trying to keep Aditya home here already. Oh.
Not going to happen easily. He's going to be really, really active, Brendan. They're going to have to get real creative on this. You can't just go after the female like that when she's back a step and leaves a little space for Aditya to make his move. You got to be crafty against Aditya.
Going back in behind him, I like that.
You have to.
Boom, good night.
No, she's got to be able to effectively go behind him. It's not that he doesn't have a drop shot or a backhand. It's that he's not as powerful with it. So it's going to be a little easier to handle. Good recovery. Macy's staying off that line, allowing Aditya to do his thing.
Okay, I like what I'm seeing.
Well, that's it. If she can beat him to the punch, that's fair. But she cannot get cookie cutter. He will impose his will and implement his strategy, which is to get involved every point.
That's a great return. That's good depth.
Oh, that was disgusting right there.
Filthy.
Aditya able to take that around the post. What an animal. That's those 2-meter arms that you were talking about.
He is lanky and lengthy.
But so coordinated with that length. There's Sarah coming in to save the day.
Sarah Burr with great defense there. Actually turning defense almost into attack, getting it in behind Aditya. That was lovely.
Well, it's almost not fair for Martin Clark to team up with a lefty from Australia that has such great defense. She bails him out often.
Well, Macy hesitating there. She's a long way back. I know she's trying to give Aditya room, but...
she's definitely solid.
Okay. Good speed up there by Aditya at Martin's body.
Yeah, you know, again, he's going to be active. Martin has got to be ready to counterpunch because those attacks are coming, and they're coming right into his body.
Here's a great block volley, though. As this match goes on, I expect him to be making those. Net cord. Yeah.
Remember, this is also 2 out of 3, so this is a different scenario.
Keeping him home.
That's,
okay, Macy's not going to want to speed that ball up in the middle.
That's
Two
never gonna
forehands
work.
there.
Never going to work. And on top of that, it was a little floating attack.
Out of the 4 players on the court, though, this is like, whilst we've spoken about, you know, Sarah Berg going for the triple crown, these players have all been in this moment, except for probably Macy. How is she going to be feeling out here?
You know, if she has nerves, she doesn't really show it. You can't visibly see any nerves, but you have to imagine she's a little bit tight and a little nervous at the moment. She'll loosen up. She'll start playing better. You find that the players after game 1 get into a better groove. Sometimes game 1 can be a little choppy in the finals, but right now the advantage slightly to the Australians.
Great defense there by Macy. I'm surprised that DT's not getting onto a couple more of these dinks, though.
Well, because he trusts her. She's proven that she can hit the dinks.
Okay, cheap errors like that, we can't, or Team Australia cannot afford.
Yeah, I love the way you say cheap errors, because those literally are the unforced errors that cause the teams to stay around. Luckily, they were serving when that happened.
Yeah, Aditya not struggling with that serve at the moment.
No, and I don't expect him to at all. Macy seems to be handling it as well. Some players respond better to it than others. There's that drive from Aditya.
Uh-oh. Yep, good night.
Macy apologizing, but you know she's got to keep Martin honest as well. There's going to be a time where she's going to have to come down the line and dink to his left foot just to keep him honest.
And let's talk about Aditya's serve as well. It is massive. It's like all Team India serve. They have huge serves. I'm not sure if it will affect, but it could prove a difference as well here as the match goes on. I like how Sarah's going in behind Aditya.
That's setting the whole thing up, and this is what I was explaining to Amanda Tao and Daryl about getting the guy pulled back over to his side, and then you can attack down the middle.
Team Australia have to be happy with this start.
That's set up by Martin Clark's nice, crisp third shot drive right into the stomach of his opponent straight across. Macy Guo.
They're keeping it super low out here to Aditya. He cannot get onto any of these volleys, and he's pressing. He's pressing.
Yeah, he doesn't need to press there. He's just got to stay steady in these points for a little bit longer. This is the finals. You cannot just speed the ball up every chance you get. You've got to be crafty. You've got to be a little creative, and you've got to work the point a little bit more than you normally would have to.
Opening up a gap here in the score, 4-1-1.
So far, Macy doing a pretty good job of handling the drive.
She needs to put that away, though. Martin sat that up on her forehand.
But you know what she's doing? She's stepping back. Look how she's a foot and a half off the line. That's the difference. If you're leaning into the net, hitting that ball crisp, with intention, then you're going to be much better off there. She's kind of on her heels, stepping back when Martin attacks that. And likely the reason that he did attack was because he saw she was back.
So a timeout called by Aditya and Macy here. Probably a good timeout at 5-1. It was starting to run away on them. They're on first server up this end. For them, what are they going to have to do, Scott?
You know what? I think Aditya needs to get a little bit more involved. It's not that he's playing badly. He's playing very well, but he's used to taking the game over, and I think he's taking the time for Macy to settle in, but now's the time down 5-1 or 6-1. I believe it's 5-1, that he needs to implement himself and assert himself a little bit more. Also, I don't think he should speed the ball up too early in the point because the hands from the team in Australia is impeccable. So he's got to be a little more crafty with that.
Spin serve working there. There's the free point.
Yeah, and we're going to see that rear its ugly head as this match continues.
Oh, Sarah Bird taking on Aditya there, absolutely showing him who boss is out here on this court.
You know, another thing they've got to do to switch things up is they've got to return to Sarah instead of Martin. When you let Martin hit that forehand like that, he's going to set up his counterpart to have success closing the net and attacking.
They're so good at the shake and bake. So good.
Yeah, because Sarah is quicker than the average player out there and has exceptional hand-eye coordination. That's what they've got to do. Be in the point longer, construct the point, look for the right windows to attack, but until then, you've got to stay steady.
And that's going to take a lot from Macy. I don't know if she can keep the ball that low for that long, to be honest. That's
Aditya inserting himself like I was talking about.
Yeah,
and if he's able to do that more, we're going to see some success from them in a game getting closer.
That's the only way I see them actually making this a match. Or if Sarah and Martin get nervous.
But again, I'm just telling you, this starts with the return. She's returning right down the middle to his forehand with no junk on it, no spin, no backspin on it or anything. You cannot give a guy like Aditya that type of advantage right out of the gate.
Oh.
They find themselves in a different position.
Yeah, a miscommunication there, perhaps? Or a good serve?
I think the serve is what caused that. They stayed because of the serve. But that's what a good serve can do. It can disrupt what you want to do.
And the serve is flat and hard. The Indian team, I don't know what they do to practice their serves, but it is working for their team. They get so many free points from that.
Yeah, they really turn up on the serve. They don't do the spin serve, but they get really aggressive, hitting deep. Macy's so chill over there. He messes up. She's like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's all good.
They stopped that run there, Sarah and Martin, because Aditya had won 3 points on his serve. So it's good to get that ball in Macy's hand now serving.
See, the return's got to come over there. Nah, you're not going to be able to lift that ball up like that against Burr and Clark. She's got to find a way to get softer hands right now in the finals. She's just lifting that ball up a little too much, and Burr and Clark taking advantage of that. That's the shake and bake.
Pressing.
Well, it took an extra shot to get it done, but she's applying a lot of pressure. But again, if they knew what I knew, which is you should return to Sarah to keep her back. Martin getting to drive that forehand is a huge advantage.
Okay, we're within 2 points now.
If I was their coach right now, I would call a timeout. I would pull them aside and I'd say, you have to quit returning middle with Martin's Clark's forehand in there. And right now they're just putting a stranglehold on Aditya. And
speaking of coaching, where are the Indian supporters? They are very quiet, and this is very unusual from the Indians.
I agree. They're very quiet over there. They do have another Indian team in the third place match, but still the finals, they should be here loud and clear. And we're seeing a very docile Indian team right now. Let's see if that can change in game 2. But let's take a quick break. 11-4 final. Not quite a bloodbath, but a pretty handedly, I don't know what I'm trying to say there.
It was a bloodbath.
They handled it well.
It was a bloodbath.
All right, guys, we are back to the action.
It is going to take a big effort from Aditya and Macy to get out of this hole that they're, quite frankly, I think they've created for themselves.
I just don't think it's a great idea for Macy to speed the ball up straight on with Martin Clark. He's just too strong in that department. She did it on the very first shot. She's got to get more creative. You got to dink cross court for a few times, lull him to sleep, and then you can make your attack. But just going straight on and attacking him on the first ball you see is not going to be the right strategy.
Okay, some better dinking there by Macy. She ended up sitting up once a little bit high, but that's promising to see if she can actually maintain a few of those dinks and perhaps get Aditya involved. See, Aditya could have taken that volley. Aditya, how he's been playing all day, would have moved across and probably taken that ball out of the air. The drop was okay, but I definitely think Aditya, with his length, could have got onto that. He's hesitating. He is under the pump out here, and quite honestly, he's deer in headlights.
That's a good exchange from Aditya and Macy. Macy holding her own. Even though she was on her heels right there, she forced Sarah to hit that last ball with the backhand, not able to get enough on it, and they won that exchange. Could be a good boost of confidence for them. Ooh. And Aditya with a very high IQ, recognizing that ball was unattackable, and Sarah Berg going for that attack was quite aggressive indeed.
That's a great serve from Aditya.
Yeah, expect him to really hammer down on that serve. That's one of the ways that you mentioned that they can get some free points off their opponents. Probably don't expect to get too many against Team Australia, but they'll get a few here and there.
Oh, that one must have painted the line. It's a great drop from Macy, getting Aditya involved now.
Yeah, he's going to stay active in game two. He knows their back's against the wall. But he's just got to put the ball in spots where they can't attack. For example, he rolled that ball on the replay. Look, he rolled it right into the middle, into the trap of Martin Clark's forehand roll. That's his best shot. So you should never give him that roll in the middle. And he's going to figure that out pretty quick if he hasn't already.
It's a great return from Sarah Burr.
Also a nice drop. But look, Macy's got to slow that ball back down. They got a little lucky there.
Yeah, Martin Clark's, yeah,
Martin.
I saw that then. Unfortunately, his right foot was on the line.
I'm impressed. That's the first foot fault I've seen called by
I haven't seen one called all week.
Yeah, that's the first one in the championship. But you saw it.
Yeah, I did see it.
I thought he looked close, but I was looking at the ball, not the feet.
I mean, I wish it wasn't a foot fault, but it was.
Correct. This game already looking a little better. from Macy and Aditya.
If you look at that replay there too, Sarah Burr actually outside faking an Ernie there.
Yeah,
maybe that was the difference.
Yeah, you don't see that much here in Asia.
Macy standing very tall on that volley. She needs to use her legs to help herself get underneath that ball to lift it back up and over the net. Great return. I back Sarah in this exchange.
That's a good attack because it was to the backhand of Martin. That's not going to get it done. Macy's getting caught, pulled off the line, and then she's lifting. She's prone to lift that ball like that based on her style, but she gets away with it a lot of times in other matches. She's not going to get away with it
Not against
here.
Sarah Burr or Martin Clark.
Got a little darker there all of a sudden.
Great block volley. Aditya has to make that. If he's going to get involved like that, he has to make that ball, quite simply.
That's one of the downsides to being so aggressive is that you're going to attack some balls that really aren't attackable, trying to make something happen.
But I don't think he's aggressively confident right now. I think he's aggressively trying to fake it almost.
Yeah, he's not super confident. They're down a game. They're playing a lot of scramble defense, by the way.
It's a great exchange, though. Oh, commentator's curse.
The difference, in my opinion, Brendan, and you tell me if you think I'm wrong on this, but Martin Clark and Sarah Burr are controlling the non-volley zone 100% of these points, and Aditya and Macy are backing off the line, playing a lot of defense and scrambling around.
Aditya is showing some frustration right now. I think he is surprised by what is happening out here. There's a shake and bake. Oh,
yeah,
that's
good recovery from Martin because he was about to get burned.
Oh my goodness, Aditya tipping that off the top of his paddle. I think he could have left that.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he should have even hit that ball, but he was in that zone. I don't know if we can see that on the replay. Let's see if they show a replay on this. Aditya just heartbroken that he missed that. They worked so hard.
7-3, Scott. This is 4 points off a triple crown.
And there's
Make it 3.
Return off that spin serve. 3 points away from a triple crown, as Brendan Lee just noted.
For Sarah Burr, that is.
For Sarah Burr, not Martin Clark. He doesn't play singles. But Aditya's not going to go away easy. Look, it's 8-3 now. They're down 5 points. It seems easy, 5 points, but it's a tough uphill battle against Team Australia.
He did well to defend that.
Sometimes you got to bail your own self out of jail, and that's what we just saw from Aditya.
I think the only chance they have is if the Australians get nervous here.
They're not going to get nervous. I don't think that's even a factor, honestly. I think the way they're going to end up coming back and winning game 2 is catching fire. Aditya's got to just take the game over and basically impose his will. I don't see them getting nervous. They're up a game. Now, could they get a little tight? Maybe that's what you're referring to. Tight, nervous, possibly yes, but I don't think that's going to be as big a factor as him just getting aggressive. Quick chat.
From both teams.
Yeah, taking the time to do that.
We're on edge.
Aditya's shirt is drenched, by the way. I don't know if you can see that on camera.
Oh, that's high.
That is high, but he left it in the kitchen good enough.
And that is short. That's a good...
Too high, too short.
Yeah, that was good for Martin Clark. Just the court awareness, the positioning of that shot, perfect. Into the backhand.
Yeah, it's not always about hitting a ton of power. It's about placement. Yeah, notice how Macy keeps getting beat when she backs off that line like that. When she goes back and watches this video later, she watches the commentary and watches herself on video, she's going to see that she gives up a huge advantage by stepping back, especially against Martin Clark and Sarah Burr. Your best chance is to stay
3
up there
points
on the net.
off.
We'll keep an eye on An interesting dink from Macy as she's backing off that line. An untimely, unforced error. Fortunately for Martin Clark, after a couple missed shots, it's still 8-4 in their favor. But they have got to reel these unforced errors in right now, or it's going to get back to a close game. Sarah Burr taking more of that middle ball right now. I really think Macy needs to find a way to take that cross-court dink down the line to Martin's backhand.
She's so lengthy. Like, to me, it's like, why don't you actually lean forward and take some of these as dink volleys rather than taking a meter of a step back?
100%. If I was her coach right now, I'd walk away from this tournament talking to her about leaning in and using that height and that reach to her advantage.
Great reset there, though. A great drop, I should say.
That's a good reset. Back to the kitchen. And there it is. There it is. No, that ball is not going to go out. That ball is going to be in. But either way, he hit it right at her, and she was indecisive.
All right, we've had two side outs and scoreless on both side outs here.
Yeah, I really think they have to hold here. This is a big series for them. Martin Clark making them work extra hard.
How good is the defense?
Oh, this insane defense. Aditya taking every ball right now.
That was special. That was special.
Got one opportunity, and she lifted that ball too high. Aditya getting pelted in the chest after Macy's errant dink.
Sarah Burr is feeling it right now. Has she missed a ball this set?
I actually don't think she's missed at all. She is spot on, and watch this serve to be exactly what she needs.
And that is a missed return. Well, these are the ones we spoke about.
Yeah, I was literally just saying that about her serve.
All right, we've arrived, Scott.
Here it is. Game point. That ball landing literally on the line.
There it is. The Australians have taken the title.
And can we now say she has accomplished the Triple Crown at the World Pickleball Championship? Congratulations to Sarah Burr on that huge, huge accomplishment. Nothing to be ashamed of from Aditya and Macy, but they were just outclassed, 11-4, 11-4. Let's go get an interview with both teams. We're going to get the runners up first, and then we'll be back for the winners. Actually, I'm going to let Brendan take this. He did a great job last night. We'll let him take the lead on this.
Your guys are so good. What to do? Yeah.
Bring it over. We'll have an interview.
Crazy win. Triple crown, baby. Triple crown.
Training. Thank you for your help. Got me, mate.
Thanks.
All right, we've got the embraces from Team Australia out there to congratulate Martin Clark and Sarah Burr. Sarah Burr played absolutely unbelievable pickleball in that final. The score reflected that, 11-4, 11-4. And the Triple Crown to boot. She's got to carry that momentum over tomorrow into the team event. But I like the vibe right now that Team Australia is putting out there. Let's go ahead and get an interview with both teams.
All right, I'm here with our runners-up from the Open Elite Mixed Doubles, Aditya and Macy. Firstly, congratulations for making the final. It's a tremendous effort, and you should be super proud of what you've achieved today, so well done. It's been a great journey here to the final for you both. You played exceptional all day. Tell me about how the final played out.
Yeah, you start.
I don't know what to say. I think the Australian team is just too good. Yeah, they're very good.
Out of my league. Yeah, and their service. Last time Martin was doing the spin serve, it was okay. But this time Sarah also, so it just got us. Yeah.
I know I spend a lot of time with these guys. We do a lot of training. And I know they remembered the match that they played against you earlier this year at the Asia Pickleball Open, and they've been working towards this of how they're going to keep you generally at home. They want to try and isolate you. Did they do their job well?
Definitely. And not 100%, they gave their 200%. I was trying to play the ball, but they had a very good strategy this time, so I couldn't do anything. So congratulations to them. Yeah.
Yes.